Well, we had experts and we were trying to create a business model, and we collectively felt that we had to establish ourselves as credible. We needed some students we could get feedback from, and we had to kind of walk through the process, right, of how we organized the information. So we worked with our partners, they promoted it, and we promoted it to our list. And I didn't care if we had 3 bodies attend. I just wanted to get the recording. So we did basically put together the process, invited people. We had some show up. We had a couple of young college graduates. But anyway, they got comp. And it went well. And we got a chance to look, okay, that content needs to change. All right, the flow needs to change. We got a chance to basically burp the baby. Well, yeah, checklist became really important because it's the product they're going to take away and use tomorrow, right? And all of the talk and the explaining really should support the checklist, because a good checklist is really hard to do. What you want is a checklist from somebody who's been using it for 30 years, right? They've made the mistakes you don't have to make. I mean, they've forgotten more than I'll learn in the next 3 years, right? And having experienced pros develop a checklist for anything. So yeah, the checklist became really valuable because it was a tool they could take and put to action right away, right? They weren't going to go back and listen to 9 hours of workshop, right? So you had to have something they could hold in their hands that they could take and implement the next day immediately, which gave it high value. This is the beauty of working with partnerships, is they see what we don't see. And one of the partners was the state, and they said, this is really fantastic. Every state has people that do this job, that job, this job, that would really benefit from this content. And I asked them why. It's because those people teaching that course are never going to come down to our state and teach us this, right? You're providing a platform that the states would never really have access to. And that's something we hadn't thought of before. We learned that what this topic really was focused on had great value to the insurance sector. Why? Because they're the ones who write the checks to fix what's broken. And this training would ultimately result in better preparation, which means less things broken. Right. So the insurance company, we didn't know that when we started creating it, right? But the more, if you're entrepreneurial, it's like any entrepreneur will tell you, their first effort is never their final effort, right? It's very true with pretty much any entrepreneur. So you don't get locked into one thing. Many times the first thing leads to the second, third, fourth, and it might be the 6th thing that you really strike oil on, right? First, you got to decide what you're trying to do. Are you trying to make money, or are you trying to be a thought leader? Okay, so that's the first thing. Because if you're trying to make money, you got to be patient, because the first one is never as good as the second one, is never as good as the third one. It's like putting all the energy in to make a Broadway play, and you have an opening night, okay, and 3 people show up, and you think the play sucks. You can't judge the success of anything until you've gone through it 10 or 15 times, right? So that was one thing. The second thing was delivery. We had sessions that were 15, 20 minutes long. People are not going to listen to that, right? What we ended up doing was creating smaller, shorter sessions, 3 to 5 minutes max, right? And make the long version available for those who wanted to go deep dive, right? And look at ourselves. We don't go on YouTube looking for an hour and 40-minute video. Yeah, the human attention span, whether you're passionate about it or not, doesn't matter a bit. Nobody cares what you think. So you can't take this personal, but you stick to 3 to 5 minutes of video that will get to the point fast. And the point is, are you going to make this faster for me? Are you going to make it easier for me? Right? Or if I learn this, am I going to have less pain?